Yo, what some boy feel like? Them know so when them see me sail at Vibes Cartel, them career no start well. Gunshots send them to hell. 45 Huskel.
People, thanks for tuning into this informative video. This is not like an on-site one, but I was talking to my friend Nikki about buying tickets and trying to figure out where to stay in Negril, and it is kind of confusing if you're not familiar with Jamaica at all, how things work there. But I drew out a little map, so I'm going to try to explain it with this map, and hopefully I cover all the questions that you'd have. And if you have any questions, just post them below, and then. But most of the rest of the video is just going to be me talking about this map. So here we go. To begin with, so this is all of Jamaica, and it's not to scale or anything like that because I just drew it. I didn't trace it or anything. Kingston is the capital. There's two different airports. So Kingston has a capital, and Montego Bay has a Kingston has an airport, Montego Bay has an airport. If you are staying in Negril, do not book your flight to Kingston. From Montego Bay to Negril is about an hour and a half taxi ride, so you don't want to spend 5 hours going from Kingston to Negril. And then also the biggest mistake that I made when I first went, my very first time, is I got a cheaper flight because I arrived in Jamaica at 11 o'clock at night. My flight was delayed and I got there even later. So going into a strange country by yourself in the middle of the night is not a good idea. Thank God I already had my my shuttle ride set up, but if I didn't, I don't know what I would have done, because it was dark and anybody could have picked me up and I wouldn't have known the difference, you know. So you want to pick a flight that you get in. Most of the flights get in about 2 o'clock, 3 o'clock average. But getting in the afternoon, morning is way better, because then it's still daylight. You actually get to see the drive on the way, and the shuttles don't really stop anywhere on the way, but a lot of people are confused on how to say this. The way that you say this city is Lucea, Lucea. So Lucea, it's a little town. There's a couple little towns that you could, like if you got a private shuttle, or if you got a taxi instead of a shuttle, then you know you could have them stop. But if they have a lot of people on there, they're not going to stop there. Okay, so my next thing. So parish and town. So Jamaica has I don't remember, 14 parishes? Anyway, I don't know how many, but a parish is like a county, and the town is different. So what I tell people is, when you're looking for a place, especially on Airbnb, because they'll say Westmoreland, and then you're thinking, okay, this hotel is in Westmoreland, but I want to stay in Negril, when actually Westmoreland is the parish that Negril is inside of. So think of Negril being in the county of Westmoreland. Does that make sense? So technically you are staying in Westmoreland, but there's more than one city in Westmoreland. Okay. All right. A lot of the places also had said, like she was saying, how most of the Airbnb places were like, oh, we're 2 minutes from the beach, or we're a 10-minute walk from the beach. or 10 minutes from the beach. So I mapped this out on my little map thing, and okay, so forget this island part. Like this part here that I drew, that is just Negril. That's this part right here. So this is 7 Mile Beach. This is downtown. And this is considered West End. So when we're in a city and we're like, oh, what side do you live on? The west side, east side, north side? This is West End, which is, I don't know, 5. Okay, so let me just tell you what I did here. So from Cool Runnings, from the top of 7 Mile Beach, and top meaning closest to the airport, from the top of 7 Mile Beach all the way to Rick's Cafe, which Rick's Cafe is on West End. There's no beaches over here. Is 11 kilometers or 16-minute drive. From the top of 7 Mile Beach to Coral Seas is 5.3 kilometers, which is about 7 miles. And then from downtown to Rick's Cafe is about 4.7 kilometers or 8 minutes. So you can see if a hotel says, okay, we're on West End, just minutes from the beach, that means if you want to go to the beach every day, you have to take a taxi back and forth every day. And what I ended up doing is I was staying on West End. In the morning, I would take a taxi down, go swim and hula hoop or whatever, take a taxi back, come back, take a shower, get ready to go out, take a taxi back down, take a taxi home. So I was going taxi, taxi, taxi back and forth. Which, if you have it, that's fine. If you don't want to do taxis all day, then you need to stay on the beach if that's what you want. So after you hit downtown, there's one roundabout in the whole town. There's not really a stoplight. They geographically, the key point in Negril is the roundabout. So you can tell a taxi to take you to the roundabout, and then I'll tell you what's down there too. So most of the time, people will, at least locals, if they're on the West End, they take one taxi to downtown, they get off, and there's, hold on, there's a little river right here that has a bridge over it. They'll take a taxi from here to here, which is one price, get off, and then take another taxi that's already on that other side to the other side. And that saves you a little bit. So if you're doing it every day, you might want to do that. You might want to get off at the roundabout and get on another one. But anywhere, a taxi from anywhere on the beach, like not this high part, not anywhere on the beach here to the West End should be about 130 Jamaican. Yeah, 130 Jamaican, one way, one person. Listen carefully. Are you listening? You might want to write this down. You might want to take a mental note. But a taxi from anywhere on the beach to West End should only be about $1.50 US or $1 US. I don't know. They just say $1.50 just to round it off. But if you have the change in Jamaican, it's 130 Jamaican. That's it per person. If you are getting in a cab and they want to charge you, you always ask before you get in the cab. They ask where you're going, you tell them, and you say how much. And they're going to think that you don't know how much because you're asking, but you just want to verify before you get in the cab and you get down there and they want $20. So verify that before you get in the cab. What else? So when you're looking on Airbnb for places to stay, or anywhere that's not an actual resort that you can't find on a map, ask them which hotel they're close to. So if they say, oh, we're close to the end by Travelers, then you know you're down at this end, close to the roundabout, close to downtown, close to Burger King. But if they say they're up by Beaches, then you know you're closer to the top where Cool Runnings is. So always ask if it's, a little room that you're renting on Airbnb and they don't have a name. Ask them what's close to them. You can even say, how far are you from Margaritaville? How far are you from Legends, Fun Holiday, whatever. Also, downtown is where Burger King is, and there's free Wi-Fi there. And all kinds of little shops and food. And Patty. What else? Okay, in my notes. Okay, so obviously we know the beach side. So people in Jamaica will call it the beach side or the cliff side. So this is where all the cliff jumping happens. So you don't have to. A lot of people think that if you want to jump off a cliff, you got to go to Rick's Cafe. You don't have to. There's all kinds of little hotels and even restaurants where there's cliffs that there's not a lifeguard, but there's places that you can jump off that you don't need to go to Rick's Cafe and pay $7 for a beer when you can go on the beach and pay $2 for a beer. I'm telling you, people, if you want to do Jamaica cheap, you need to come when I come. You need to come when I'm there. And I mean, if you have any questions before you leave, ask me. If you want to add me on WhatsApp, ask me. And then that way when you're in Jamaica, you can ask me questions and I can hook you up with my taxi people, shuttle people, snorkeling people, food people, restaurant people. Yeah, I got the hookup. I know how to do this cheap because I'm not a cheap person like normally, but I'm on a budget because I have a very strict income. I work for myself, so money isn't always there when I need it. So I know how to do it. What else? Some people will confuse West End with Westmoreland, and that's different. Like, I believe Savannah Lamar is in Westmoreland. Like, all this is in Westmoreland. But the West End just means the very west end of Negril when they're talking about that. So, and there's also a lot of nicknames for all the cities. Like Montego Bay, people call it Mo Bay. Sav Lamar, most people just call it Sav. They have that's part of my tour too. We go to Sav and go to the what's it called? Craft market or food market. But also, like I'm sorry, I'm going back to the taxi thing. Oh no, I'll do the taxi later. So Mo Bay, Sav, Ocho Rios is normally called Ochi. And I don't know any nicknames for over there because I've never really been there. But taxis. So your taxi from, oh, excuse my mess here. Your taxi from Montego Bay to Negril is an hour and a half, and that should cost you about $25. And that's airport shuttle. If you take the shuttle bus. So those big blue buses, that's what you want to get on to get the $25 rate. If you hop in a taxi and it's only you and you want to go all the way from Montego Bay to Negril in a taxi by yourself, it's going to cost you about probably about $80, because they could have filled that up filled up the taxi to go to Negril, the more people you have in a taxi, the better. The more people you have in a shuttle, the better. But the blue shuttles from Mo Bay are always $25. And that is a big way that people get ripped off. Make sure that the hotel that you book doesn't already have your shuttle price included in there. Okay? I feel like I'm talking a mile a minute, and I need some water. What was I saying? So the taxi. You can also set up your shuttle ahead of time, and it's even cheaper than $25. All right, next taxi price. We already covered that anywhere from the beach to the West End is like $1.50. Most people don't really tip. I mean, locals don't tip their taxi guys. You can, but so also from Negril to Savlamar. Are you ready? $2. $2. That's it. And my first time that I went, I knew there was another city, that where people went to go do their grocery shopping and everything, but I didn't want to pay, $20, $30 to go out there and $20, $30 to get back. But it's only $2 to take a car taxi. There's not really big buses that go on that route, but downtown. Hold on, I'm getting my pen, that's why it's shaking. So, downtown at the roundabout, if you go down past the police station, there's this, it's almost like a fenced-in place that looks like, there's an in and an out, and there's some shops back there, but there's tons of cars, tons of people. That's like the taxi. What is wrong with my brain? I can't think. So when there's bus routes, there's a bus depot transfer point. There you go. It's like a bus transfer point, but for taxis. So after the roundabout, you go down, you wait there, you get on in a car taxi, and you can go to Savlamar for $2. But be prepared to be stacked very tightly in these taxis. They will put 7 people in a small little car. So there might be 4 in the back, 2 in the front, 3 in the front, 5 in the back. I don't know. But be prepared to scoot over and hopefully not get stuck in the middle. What else was I going to cover? Taxis, nicknames. I think I covered everything. So I'm about to edit all the videos from the festival, Reggae on the River, and that's going to take a while because that's like 5 days of videos to edit, and I don't have Wi-Fi at home yet. But I will edit those, get them up. But if you have any troubles booking your flight, I'm going to add my new for season 2. I'll add my new clip for this, but this won't count as like one of the episodes. I don't think. I don't know. I never know. But I hope you guys are doing well, and half the year's over, and I can't believe it, and Trump is president, and I'm stuck in California, but not for long. I can't wait. I don't have my ticket yet for October, but I'm going to get it. But I'll see you guys soon. Take care. Bye.
Ça a passé! Wouh, 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 wouh.